nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Epa! Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Shiki, shiki. Citizen FM, Citizen FM.
This is our journey. We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. A people united will never be defeated.
Wake up, Abuja. Rise and shine. Get ready to start your day on Sunrise at Citizen. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7. Join us from 5 a.m. to 12 noon as we bring you the latest news, trending topics, and the most music to kickstart your day. From politics to entertainment, sports to lifestyle, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on our interactive segments, contests, and giveaways that will keep you engaged and entertained. Start your day with a smile. So, set your alarms and wake up to the best morning show in the city. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja's go-to station for news, entertainment, and more. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7 FM, 5 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday to Friday. Let's get this day started. Oya o my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top make we talk am. For Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja, every Monday go reach Thursday and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoiti. Welcome to the show. It's the 24th day of December 2025. The city of Abuja is virtually empty as residents have traveled out for the festivities. And for those of us that are still in town, well, let's make the best use of the moment. But it doesn't mean wherever you are on the surface of the earth, you can still listen to us on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. As long as you have access to internet, if you are outside the city, yes, on YouTube, you can join our live stream and you will be abreast of everything happening in Abuja here. Well, let's start off with the Punch newspaper headlines first, then we look at the stories in details during the second half of the show. That's how we do it on the show. All right, we start off with the Punch newspaper now. Budget crisis, NAS extends 2025 fiscal year to March. And 2027 Wike promised to hold down PDP for Tinubu, Makinde alleges. And 2027 to Raki Camp fumes as INEC rejects PDP ESCOs. And NBA Atiku demand new tax law suspension. And federal government orders takedown of terrorist social media account. Missiles that toll hits 153 in 11 months. Very sad story there. Ebonyi villages accuse EEDC of 5-year blackout, business collapse. Akpabiomon's police escort killed by tanker. And Lukman Stunner rescues Eagles in AFCON opener. Still staying with the Punch newspaper, budget 2026, Akpabolo Didiri Oyebanji sign Nasarawa Ondo lawmakers pass bill. And Labour task states LGAs on insecurity. All right, we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. Gazette Furo. NBA article seek suspension of tax law. Hardship. Federal government gets 52% of federation revenue. Stop blaming governors alone. That's Governor Rada. Lack of political will hampering fight against insecurity. That's according to Kwankwaso, former governor of Kano State. And we move on to the cable newspaper now. Kabiru Turaki-led NWC says no faction in PDP, accuses INEC of bias. And Fintiri pardons Adamawa farmer sentenced to death for killing attacker in self-defense. Atiku calls for suspension of new tax laws, ask EFCC to probe alterations. And Lukman Screamer squeezes Eagle past Tanzania in 2025 AFCON opener. We're still staying with the cable newspaper. INEC rejects Makinde-backed PDP NWC side spending cut cases. And reps approve Tinubu's request to extend implementation of 2025 capital budget to March 2026. Nigeria didn't meet oil revenue target in first half of 2025, says Budget Office. All right, we move on to the Tribune newspaper now. Reps extend 2025 capital budget implementation to March 31st, 2026. And still staying with Tribune, I'm overqualified to become Nigeria's president in 2027, Sheyi Makinde. And still on the Awujale throne, court rejects Wasiu Ayinde's application to stop process. Okay. We move on to the Nation newspaper now. Destruction of PDP dangerous for our democracy, says Makinde. EFCC files money laundering charge against Malami and Son. The National Assembly OKs 43.5 trillion naira, 48.316 trillion naira revised budgets. An NIN to serve as tax ID for Nigerians, says FIRC. FIRS, okay. NIN. And 739 naira per litre price spikes queue at MRS. Lagos to manage informal space. Lawmaker empowers youth and traders. All right, we move on to the Sun newspaper now. Okonjo Njewela commissions Abia Electric buses. Wike promised Tinubu he would hold PDP for him. That's from Makinde, governor of Oyo State. No distinction between mass kidnapping, terrorism, and Mbaswe in 2 new commissioners. Tinubu lacks political will to fight insecurity, banditry, says Kwankwaso. This day newspaper is next now, and it's still the Makinde Wike stories. Makinde saying, Wike promising to hold down PDP for Tinubu sparked a disagreement. And fresh trouble for PDP as INEC rejects new national officers, cite court ruling. And Umahi to contractors 2.13 trillion naira legacy road debts must undergo verification before payment. And petrol supply surges to 71.5 million liters daily. Consumption declines to 52.9 million liters. The federal government recorded 2.66 trillion naira fiscal deficit finance through domestic borrowing. And Senate hails Tinubu's 58.47 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill backs infrastructure security push. All right, we move on to the Guardian newspaper. As expected, just like other newspapers, the PDP crisis is still trending. INEC rejects request to recognize Turaki-led NWC. And Makinde opposition site Wike Factor say authoritarian drift threatens 2027 polls. An investor fatigue, $14 billion infrastructure gap stall deep sea renewal plan. An NCT commends FG's terrorist tag on armed groups. And children account for 82% of IDPs in 11 states. NHRC reveals insecurity, bickering over timing safeguard for state police. We've taken full charge of Osun LG funds, says APC Algon. Promises reform. And the UN decries industry boom as abductors collect 2.57 billion naira in 1 year. APC National Chairman appoints 15 senior aides as opposition kicks. Navy rescues 20 crew members from burning vessel. Daily Trust is next now. 12 killed in Plateau Kogi auto crashes. Sad wonder. And National Assembly passes 48.32 trillion naira revised 2025 budget. And Gombe governor dismisses 4 aides over assault on councillor. And no faction in accord, chairman declares. On insecurity, our troops are brave, but political will is lacking. Kwankwaso. And reps seek rescue of 28 abducted travelers. Bandits demand 42 million naira ransom. And terrorists using POS to collect ransom. That's from the federal government. All right, New Telegraph is next now, and my return to Bayelsa Government House over deputy's death deeply saddening. 2023, I regretted supporting Tinubu. That's from Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. Tinubu's alleged forgery of tax reform law, treasonable felony. That's from Atiku Abubakar. Okay, sparks are just flying all over the place. INEC announces Rivers Select Assembly by-election date, pledges credible polls. Muftwang rallies Middle Belt nationalities, harp on unity, shared identity. All right, we move on to penpushing.com now, and the lead story here, website of Nigerian Communication Commission ranks among the best in 2025. And there's a story on the arts and music industry here. Replica of Orlando Award in music industry, Orlando West, is dead. Sad one here. And Omoteku calls embark on show of force in Ogun State. And petrol tanker rams into Akpabio's convoy, kills dispatch rider. An electoral commission rejects Turaki-led National Working Committee of People's Democratic Party. Those are the stories on penpushing.com. For more, you can check out the paper, a source of authentic news globally. All right, we'll quickly take a short break now, and when we return, we'll go into the second half of the show where we look at some of the stories in details. Please don't go away. The program returns in a moment.
Wake up, Abuja. Rise and shine. Get ready to start your day on Sunrise at Citizen. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7. Join us from 5 a.m. to 12 noon as we bring you the latest news, trending topics, and the most music to kickstart your day. From politics to entertainment, sports to lifestyle, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on our interactive segments, contests, and giveaways that will keep you engaged and entertained. Start your day with a smile. So, set your alarms and wake up to the best morning show in the city. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja's go-to station for news, entertainment, and more. Sunrise at Citizen 93.7 FM, 5 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday to Friday. Let's get this day started. Wait. Oh yeah, oh my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top Make We Talk Am for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday go reach Thursday, and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM. Abuja. This is the second half of the show, and this is where we look at some of the stories in details. And also, when we throw the phone lines open, the lines are open now, you know the normal lines. But let me call them out: 0903 2229797. That's 0903 2229797. We also have 0818 2222 205. That's 0818 2222 205. All right, we start off with the Punch newspaper. Meanwhile, Mr. Salman Salami is here in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Very, very good morning to you, Lawrence. And tell me the secret of this your look this morning.
Well, you know this, what they say about hard work. The reward for hard work is more work, and I think this is an indictment on you because you've been giving me all the works to do. So it's packaging. Let's not go there. And meanwhile, Mr. Salami, what are you doing there? All the CEOs that I know across the world are on vacation, enjoying themselves. So what are you doing in the studio? You're
Thank God that you know that all the CEOs around the world are on vacation. We are doing the people's job.
Anyway, all right. Thank you for doing the people's job. And you know that this is a thankless job. I'm sure you know that. All right, Mr. Salami, let's move on straight off. Budget crisis now extends 2025 fiscal year to March. In a major fiscal reset aimed at addressing revenue shortfalls, weak capital execution, and overlapping budget cycles, the National Assembly on Tuesday, that's yesterday, approved a revised 43.5 trillion naira 2024 Appropriation Act and a reworked 48.3 trillion naira 2025 budget framework, with the 2025 fiscal year extended to March 31, 2026. Mr. Salami, the long and short of all these technical jargons is that whatever was left done in 2024 and 2025 will be carried over till March 31st, 2026.
So we will leave no money unspent.
Hopefully.
Well, like I keep on saying that budget is just a statement of intention. Whether you are going to actualize it or not is a different ballgame. But upon all this grammar, what is important to the masses is the tangible result. If it translates into improvement in their welfare and well-being, it is okay by them. Shred of all niceties, what the average Nigerian wants to see is improvement in his lifestyle, in his welfare and his well-being, improvement in the quality of life of his family. And I'm very sure that the essence of democracy is the delivery of the bountiful dividends. Anything short of that remains what it is. Grammar.
Okay. All right, Mr. Salami, just to add that the dividends of democracy, the dividends are not necessarily provision of road, building of infrastructure. Those are things that any government in power can do. The real dividends, accountability, you understand, process human rights, and making sure that representation reflects the will of the people, electoral reforms, and so many other things that are at the base of a democratic government. Because a lot of people, when they say the dividends of democracy, they built hospitals for us, they built market, the roads are there. No, a military government can do that, an autocratic government can do that. But when it comes to accountability, very, very important. Are the leaders accountable to the people? Do they respond to questions? Are they honest in their transactions? Do they follow processes? Is there the human right in place? And so many other things. I think we should start getting used to that.
Higher standards of demand. That is good. It's good. My position is simple. Let us start from the basic, irreducible minimum.
Okay.
You are now saying that even the military government, they can give us good roads, good schools. We had them. Did they?
They did. Some of the legacy projects we have in Nigeria today were built by the military government.
The present-day politicians, are they giving us the desired infrastructure?
Well, your guess is as good as mine.
Let's leave it in the wind.
Yes. All right, Mr. Simon, let's go back to this story. Almost all the dailies have it. That's the crisis in the PDP. 2027 Turaki camp fumes as INEC rejects PDP ESCOs. The INEC has rejected the Tanimo Turaki-led National Working Committee of the PDP, citing subsisting court judgments and unresolved legal processes. In response to the decision, the Publicity Secretary, Ini Ememabong, maintained that the party leadership was legitimate and emphasized that there was no faction within the party. However, Samuel Anyanwu, national chairman of the Nyesom Wike-backed faction, hailed the move as a faithful adherence to court judgment. Mr. Salami, remember after the last meeting, I warned that INEC should not get entangled with these factions, and now INEC is already being accused of being biased.
Lawrence, it is neither here nor there. There is no way INEC will not get involved. The court gave a judgment. Who is going to translate the judgment? Will the court go to the parties and tell them that this is the judgment we gave? All the court will do is just to give judgment. Giving effect to the judgment will be done by an institution too.
Okay.
And they have interpreted their own understanding of the judgment of the court. What PDP should do is clear.
Appeal. I'll go back to court.
That is just it.
But yes.
But
true.
will INEC now sit down and say that, yes, all the two parties, all the two factions rather, are okay by them? And in any case, one of them is telling you that there's no faction.
You see, you know why I'm saying? Because if INEC today is saying that the one faction is not recognized by law, so why did you meet them? You met with an illegal faction in the first place when there was a subsisting court order.
No, Lawrence, you see, I don't think we should sit in judgment over the decision of INEC. But the position is this. There's nothing bad in calling the two factions.
As what?
Listen, as umpire. Electoral umpire. Say, the two factions. Fine. When one of them now said that there was no faction, how many people came to INEC? How many?
Okay.
And the two factions came. And INEC told them in no unclear terms that we don't have a dog in this fight. But we are guided by the electoral laws and the pronouncements from the courts of competent jurisdiction. As it stands, this is the position of the law. And there is nothing.
I get you, Mr. Salami. INEC, that position should have been stated and no meeting should have been held. That's my position. The moment you agree to sit with those two factions, you open up your flanks for criticisms. INEC should have said no, by the position of the law standing now, this is what the court has said and this is what INEC will do. That's it. No need to sit with anybody, then you say this one is there, this one is there. Politicians are very, very terrible people. You don't, when you mingle with them, you have to be very, very careful because most of the time they know what they are doing.
When we take this to the spokesperson of INEC today, so that he will now tell us why they met. maybe two factions instead of adopting your process.
Well, for me, I think going forward, the electoral body should be very careful.
No,
There are a lot of things to do ahead. Let them not just get distracted by too many issues.
That is a good one.
All right, still talking about INEC. 2027, Wike promised to hold PDP for Tinubu. Makinde alleges. They say when two friends fight, everything that was done in the secret will be thrown open. Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde on Tuesday broke his silence on his rift with the Minister of the FCT in some Wike, disclosing that their fallout stemmed from Wike's alleged declaration to hold down the PDP for President Bola Tinubu's re-election. Wike and Makinde were prominent members of the G5 governors who opposed the PDP's choice of Atiku Abubakar as its presidential candidate. Speaking during a media chat in Ibadan, Oyo State capital, Makinde said the relationship collapsed after Wike made what he described as a shocking declaration during a meeting with the president, in which he said the president neither requested nor endorsed. Well, the salami. So,
you see, my people always say that the house that is built with the saliva will soon collapse.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what happened between Wike, Sheyi Makinde, Otom, and them, the G5. Right? It was convenient that time. But what goes round comes around. But you see, when Sheyi said that, yes, Wike...
You mean Governor Makinde?
Governor Sheyi Makinde, rather, sorry. Maybe I was looking at my age and it's...
No, it doesn't mean...
Which it doesn't matter anyway. That is my own... let me admit that it's a fault. When Governor Sheyi Makinde said that Wike told him, or he had, or Wike made the admission that he was holding down PDP for Mr. President. But he was quick to say that he didn't believe, or he's not insinuating that Mr. President requested him to hold down. You see, he's in a position to know. He's a witness of truth, because for whatever it was worth, they were all palace or paddies before. So it's because, like you always say, that in politics, what is paramount is interest. It's because their interests are divergent today. That's why we are hearing what we are hearing. But in politics, it is okay. It is. And let us wait for more. Because betrayers, quote and unquote, alignment, quote and unquote, realignment of political forces will always happen. And we have not gotten to the end of it.
Exactly. You see, for me, when I saw that, I listened to the interview. Thank God, number one, the parties, the personalities are all alive. Mr. President is alive. Former Governor Wike is alive. And he said a few others which he did not name. I assume that some of them are also alive. And Governor Sheyi Makinde is also alive. So that's one. Two, I'm not sure that we may likely get any comments one way or the other from the president on this issue, because already from the account of the Oyo State Governor, he has been exonerated the president, because he said he neither solicited nor endorsed that request
in their presence.
So that is it.
And there was this witty one he had it when he said he made his first $1 million when Wike was in law school.
Well, just rounding off law school. You know, I love politicians when they engage in this trolling and banter. Sometimes you begin to.
It's good. It's therapeutic.
Yes, now, and you remember now too also that when former governor Wike also had this part with that military gentleman also.
Exactly.
He also reminded him.
You can be sure that Wike will come up with his own.
Of course, you know. Of course.
But it's good for our politics.
It is, but it also shows, sometimes it gives you the idea of what goes on, behind the scenes,
yes,
when the stakes are high. Because these are high-stake politics, Mr. Salami, whether we like it or not. It's neither here nor there, you understand? We don't expect the president to come out and say, oh, yes, that's true, Wike said this, and I did not. You also do not expect Wike to say, yes, I volunteered this information. Although, because you can never tell with Wike what he can say about anything. He can come out tomorrow to say, yes, is that a new thing? If I even offered to do that. But for them, I think he's alive, and he's also capable to speak for himself. But for me, I think it's just part of our kind of politics. This is not new. This is not the first time, and it's not likely to be the last. And that's why when parties raise alarm that, one party state is imminent, the PDP is going to crash, I said, please don't raise that alarm. I'm not one of those who is carried away by all this. The PDP or any opposition can never die in Nigeria. It is just a phase that we are currently facing now. After this election, the 2027 election, Mr. Salami, you know that this dynamics will change. Towards the next election, the dynamics will change. Other political parties will spring up. The current ruling party will face a lot of implosion. It's always like that. It's not, you are not making any prediction of doom. That's how we play our politics. So let's just hold our gunpowder for now.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, in politics, especially our own brand, what is permanent is interest.
Exactly.
Anything can change. What is more important to them, and not you and I. The most important thing to politicians in Nigeria is preservation of their interest.
Exactly.
Self-preservation.
And that gives you an idea. Okay, look at the governors that are defecting to the APC. Most of them are first-term governors. The second-term governors know that well. They are running out of their tenure, so they can afford some laxities. The only thing ahead of them is how to install a preferred candidate at the end of the day. So everything is always about interest, and politics is local at the end of the day.
Well, that is the way they cook.
All right, Mr. Salami, let's look at some security issues. Meanwhile, the numbers, the phone lines still open, 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 222205. Federal government orders takedown of terrorist social media accounts. The federal government has disclosed that Nigerian security agencies are working with major social media companies to identify and take down accounts used by terrorists and criminal groups to promote their activities and raise funds. Speaking at an end-of-year briefing in Abuja, the Director General of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Damo Laka, said platforms such as TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and X had been used by terrorists to publicize operations, display looted items, and communicate with supporters. According to him, security agencies have held several engagements with social media companies to address posts and accounts that pose threats to national security.
Well, you see, honestly, we are beginning to treat this problem as a major challenge that needs to be sorted out. We've been saying it here that terrorists, bandits, kidnappers do make video and it goes viral. And we know all it takes to get all these things done. It only means that there are known collaborators. There are quite some people who are complicit. And we've been saying it, Lawrence, that if this thing thrives, it's because people do not talk. And it's because they have people who are working with them. And chances are that these people we are mentioning, they are Nigerians.
True.
So if this is the case, unless and until we Nigerians decide to change our ways and agree that yes, let us save this country, that this country belongs to Nigerians and no other national can do the work of saving Nigeria but Nigerians. That to me is patriotism, the highest form of patriotism.
Exactly.
General Chris Musa, the erstwhile Chief CDS,
Chief of Defense Staff.
Chief of Defense Staff, and now the Honorable Minister of Defense, has said it times and times over that security belongs to all Nigerians, that all of us must own security. And when we do that, and not until then, can we really sleep fully with our eyes closed. And that is why all those who know something about what is going on should volunteer credible intelligence, credible information, because the security agencies, they are not miracle workers.
Spirits.
They can only work if they have intelligent information.
Timely and credible.
Timely and credible. Not until then. And this so-called information is not hidden. It's just that some people have chosen to withhold it. That's the much I would say.
Yeah, I think it's if the Nigerian government decides to embark on this road, it's nothing new. Other countries are doing it. The Western countries are coming down hard on terrorist groups on social media. A lot of accounts. The other day, I think about a month ago, thousands of accounts were shut down on social media. So it's just the way to go. We need to be intentional, focused and deliberate about this issue very, very seriously. And also, Mr. Salami, we're always talking about giving information to security agencies. Yes, very good. But on the flip side too, we also need to encourage our security agencies to encourage or bring about a situation of mutual trust with the people. Very important. If somebody volunteers information, will there be a backlash? Will the person be identified? Will the culprit be released, given bail, and then they will say, oh, this information came from this man on your street, and you know, those kind of things. So those are little things that make people apprehensive. A lot of people are afraid, if I step out, am I safe? So if people are reassured that information given will be treated with strict confidentiality, then people will be emboldened to come out. Gradually, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. We need to build that trust over the years because, as you said, information is key. When we are quick to point out at what happens in other countries where we call advanced democracies, it's information. The old woman who is upstairs witnessed a robbery attack, and the first thing she does is she gets a description of the people involved. She gets a look at the plate number of the vehicle used, and she picks up her phone and she calls the relevant authorities. And before you know it, this information is downloaded in the system and narrowed down, and then boom, you have a picture of one or two people and they swoop on them, and it looks like magic to us. We say, wow, in other countries, the outcome, the perpetrators were arrested in under 24 hours. There are a lot in place that will make that possible.
Lawrence, let me tell you something that came to my mind now. The role of technology in security cannot be overemphasized. Do you know when we were talking about volunteering information, is it taking a cab to force headquarters to say that, yes, you have? That is not what we are saying.
Will you even have access into the building?
That is not what I'm even saying. You see security. Sorry, you feel security. You don't see security. The moment you see security, is no more security. You feel it. That is where the application of tech is important. And I agree with you. There must be trust. The element of trust the trust factor is very important. Do we trust our security agencies? That even if they have the information, they will act swiftly without compromising
Your own safety.
the security of
The informant.
the informant. Very important.
And this issue of technology brought in it's given. It's not something. It's not rocket science again, Mr. Salami. In 2025, there are basic things that we should have been taken for granted now in Nigeria. Take, for instance, the issue of CCTV cameras. We should have CCTV cameras in
strategic places.
Strategic places in
Strategic places.
all public buildings.
Strategic places.
We should have them on major highways. These are ways to track people, and not just that. That's just part one of it.
We are not even starting.
Then the second part of it is, what do you do with this information? Are you capable of processing
Analyzing it.
this information? If somebody commits a crime in Abuja and disappears and goes to
Are you going to compromise?
can you even get him? Is it? I like what is happening in the tax sector now, where they're talking about this NIN. We hope that at the end of the day, we'll let politics aside and look at the bigger picture. Every Nigerian needs to have an identification number. That's where we start from. I know it's not good for a lot of people because of political advantage and everything. Some people don't. They still want us to grope in the dark. But we need to have a situation where every Nigerian, at the touch of a button, you have a number assigned to you. Your photograph is in a system, so that once you mention somebody's name or you have his number, and boom.
And are you sure non-Nigerians don't even have name? Or what are we talking?
It's sad.
What are we talking, Lawrence?
Because these are critical issues that we need to address at the end of the day. We don't have people coming in from other parts of the country
And get registered.
And before you know it, they say, oh,
They
we look
commit
the
crime
other
and
way.
they run away.
Exactly. And if you want to talk, they say, oh, they are our brothers now, this and that. You are trying to stop our brothers from getting this. You are trying to do this and this. At the end of the day. And then we say we are serious.
Lawrence, honestly, don't fall my hand like people will say.
It's sad because when we talk about insecurity, talk about security, there are different levels to these things, Mr. Salami, just like you said. And we should start from the basics. Let's, number one, know how many we are. Let's, number one, know how many people are around. Then we can identify. Somebody cannot afford to commit a crime in Abuja and run to somewhere in Maiduguri and is safe, simply because we don't have any way of tracking. It shouldn't happen.
It should not.
All right, let's come back to the issue of labor task states, LGAs on insecurity. Organized labor has called on state governments and local government authorities to take greater responsibility for tackling Nigeria's worsening insecurity, warning that the failure to act decisively is draining household incomes and restricting citizens' freedom of movement. Mr. Salam.
Which is the truth. I'm even happy that the Labour is now focusing their searchlight or beaming their searchlight on the other tiers, subnationals. The quantum of money pouring into the states is mouth-watering. The question is this: what are they doing with it? The amount of money poured into the local government is far more than what they used to get.
Sometimes times
What do they do, or what are they doing with it? People must ask critical questions. Nigerians must own Nigeria. It's your local government. The money is meant for the development of your local government. Is the local government chairman and the councillors, are they doing the right thing with the money? Then even if you do know, what are you doing? Until we begin to ask the necessary question, to take them to task, to make them realize that public office is public trust, and that the people are watching, realizing fully that sovereignty belongs to the people. Lawrence, the price of freedom is what?
Eternal
Vigilance.
All right, yeah, I think it's for me. I think I like the advocacy that they started because, Mrs. Salome, let's face the fact: the labor movements at the state level, they are just like the House of Assembly at the state level. They are virtually incapable of standing up to the state governments. So, but if they begin this and learn to look to stand up to the state governments, ask questions. It's not just when there are issues concerning salaries or promotion of members of the labor. That's the only time you hear about labor unions in the state. I'm telling you, over the years, you hardly find a strong viral labor movement that will galvanize public opinion against policies, state policies, and everything. This is the time to start. But let's add that to this story. Hardship. Federal government gets 52% of federation revenue. Stop blaming governors alone. That's Governor Rada. Governor Diko Rada of Katsina State has urged Nigerians to stop blaming state governors alone for the country's worsening economic hardship, saying the federal government controls more than half of the nation's monthly federation revenue. Mr. Simon, I don't think anybody's blaming the federal government, big governors alone. We've always said that this searchlight should be beamed across the tiers of government.
Well, you see, the truth is this, and nobody has come to tell us that it's not the truth. That the quantum of money pouring into the state has more than doubled what they used to get.
Triple most occasions.
The question is, precisely what are you doing with this money? If the federal government is taking 50%, 52% of the total revenue, I'm not Mr. Bayo Ononuga. So that you say that maybe I'm
the Minister of Information.
Or the Idris. I am not. I'm neither. But to a large extent, you could see what the federal government is doing. To a very large extent. Engineer Umai is up and doing. To a very large extent. If you live in Abuja, you don't need anybody to tell you that things are happening. Landscapes are changing. We were here for 8 years. In the last 8 years, we were here in Abuja. We had a minister, supposedly. And I'm sure the minister is alive today. And kicking. He goes around, I want to believe. And he sees what he thinks could not be done. Anyway, can you give what you don't have?
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Salman Salami. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much, sir.
It's a pleasure, my brother. Sorry that I'm being hard on some...
No, Mr. Salami, you don't need to be sorry about it. In fact, it's your responsibility given to you, even by the constitution of the country, that you need to hold leaders to account. That is the only thing that makes a difference between democracy and a military or authoritarian regime. You need to hold your leaders to account, demand answers, ask critical questions, and that's what the media is for.
Precisely what we are doing.
All right. Thank you so much, and that's our package on Super Citizen Newspaper Review today. Tomorrow, it's another day. It's Christmas Day. Tomorrow, we will be here 7 a.m., bright and early.